My name is Phil Collum. I happen to be a police sergeant. I'm also on the board of directors of our Police Officers Association here in the city. And as Richard said, of the bargaining groups in the city, we are one of several. We actually represent about 240 employees of the city. Those are the police officers, the actual cops working in the streets right now, for that matter. So, real quickly, just wanted to start off by thanking everyone for being here. We're really glad to be able to be here and speak to you about the perspective that I think all of us as bargaining groups, all of us as representatives of the employees feel about the situation together. And I think that's really valuable. I'd obviously like to thank the folks here from the South Bay Forum and the Southwest Chula Vista Civic Association, the Northwest Civic Association, for hosting this event on our behalf. I do need this. Can you hear me better now? All right. I'll try to use this as best I can. Do I need to reintroduce myself?
No.
Okay, good. We'll get past all that. As everybody knows, obviously if you're here, these are difficult and highly unusual times in the city. A $20 million shortfall is nothing to balk at, and it's nothing that will get resolved easily, nor are there any quick fixes or easy solutions. And that's my honest belief about the situation. But that being said, of that, it's important that we recognize that what Richard said is absolutely true. Services in the city are already at or near their bare minimum. And this is citywide. I'm not just speaking of the Police Officers Association. I know where we stand, but I also know where some of the other associations stand, because we see it in the police department every day when we go to work. When there's potholes in the streets that we have to go check out because there's not enough staff to fix them, or when graffiti's not getting painted over quick enough and that's causing a blight on your neighborhoods or whatever else it may be. I wanted to take a minute and talk about staffing levels, though, just from the police department's perspective. We honestly believe that our police force is among the leanest and probably hardest working police force in the entire county. And I'm not just saying that off the top of my head. I've done a fair amount of research over the last many months looking into this issue, and I'll rattle off a couple quick numbers to you that may interest you. For example, throughout the nation there is a figure that they often use to calculate what the presence of the police force is in a given jurisdiction or city. It's called officers per capita. It's every officer per every 1,000 people. And the national average for officer per capita currently is 2.3 officers for every 1,000 people. That's the national average. In the region, within the county, it's 1.3 officers for every 1,000 people is the average. So less officers for more people. In the city of Chula Vista, we have the lowest officer per capita ratio in the entire county. 1.05 officers for every 1,000 people. That has a direct impact on the time it takes us to get to a call, our availability for calls, and what we can do at calls and things like that. Interestingly enough, we also have a large number of calls in our community. Back to 2004, a study by Sandag brought forth the fact that our officers respond to about 30% more calls in your average year than, for example, the San Diego Police Department. So we're a little understaffed. I believe we are hard worked, of course, yet we also maintain a 90% approval rating with our community, and that's a really good thing. I describe this to you not just to point out about our police department, but this is a reflection of the entire community, of the entire city, because it isn't just our police department that is staffed at similar sorts of levels. It truly is all of the different groups that are represented here today. I want to talk about a little bit about what they call memorandum of understanding, or contracts. Every bargaining group has a contract that they negotiate with the city for their members, their employees. That spells out things like pay and benefits and so on and so forth. Those contracts are negotiated early on. The last one we negotiated was in 2005 for us, for CDEA as well, and that's what a lot of us are currently in discussions with the city about, because the result of those contracts have some impacts, obviously, on the city's current fiscal crisis. So I think all of us all of the bargaining groups are currently in negotiations with the city, including us. And personally, I'm very optimistic that we'll be able to work something out in order to help relieve some of this situation to the betterment of everyone, the entire community, of all the different bargaining groups, and so on. But in the end, what it really boils down to is the services that you see on the streets day to day. And like my friend Richard, I believe that this budget crisis cannot be resolved simply on the backs of the employees. If the employees actually gave away everything, the reality is it would only cover one fraction of the shortfall that we have. There's some significant shortfalls. So we also have some ideas for solutions, some of which I've worked directly with Richard on for solutions. One of the biggest ones to us is that we not only look at the expenditure side of this issue, not only look at exactly what can we cut, what facilities can we close, who can we lay off. Those aren't good things to be looking at, but sometimes they're necessary. We understand that. But that we also look at the revenue side. How can we increase the revenue in our community so that hopefully we won't have to make those cuts as drastic as they are. When we're already dealing with what we believe is a city and an employment base, an employee base that is cut a lot of the fat out, 4 prior occasions, where every time the bargaining groups, including us, has gone back to the city and agreed to cooperate with the city to work out an arrangement. We're now back again, and we'll, I'm sure, do it again. But we need to look at the other side as well. We cannot continue to solve all of our fiscal crises on the backs of the people that work here, and that's our opinion on this issue. Just to close, I'm very, very optimistic about what's going on between the bargaining groups in the city. We've had some good communication, some good contact. If nothing else, this has certainly helped spark a lot of great discussions with the community, and that I see as extremely valuable. That's why I'm so glad to be here in front of y'all. And as long as we continue to work together, bargaining groups with other bargaining groups with city with community, community with bargaining groups, we can come out of this. But I think we really need to work together to resolve this issue, not in one simple, easy way, but in a way that works for everybody. And Jose is giving an interview. I have more time.
You have 3 more minutes. 2 minutes. You have 4 minutes.
I will also negotiate away my 2 minutes.
Okay.
Hold that till later.
The firefighters representative is next. Who is that going to be?
Okay, we've got Beth Chop next.
No, you told me the fire
Okay.
are next. Beth is not here yet.
Oh, okay, good.